Yeah, there's a chance that we get to the end of this and I've done this all completely wrong, but I think I understand.
So, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys.
It's been a crazy week. Loving the feedback we've been getting. Lots of fans calling in, getting about 5,000 views per podcast. And we just wanted to thank you guys. Well, that divided by 1,000. But we just wanted to thank you guys. We wanted to thank all 5 of you guys for listening in and staying tuned.
Shout out to all 5.
Shout out. I'm going to shout. Actually, I'm going to do a quick shout out to everybody that's actually listened to the podcast.
Do it.
For the best of my knowledge. Shout out to my parents. Thank you, parents, for listening to my podcast. Shout out to, I think my sister listened once, so that's pretty cool. Shout out to AJ Rollman. Shout out to Garrett Thompson. Garrett comments on all of our YouTube videos, and he's actually going to be a guest on our show this week. Shout out to Cooper Twit, who I don't know if he watches our videos, but he likes our posts on Instagram, which is a big step. And
Boom.
who else watches? Shout out to Caroline, my girlfriend. My girlfriend watches, and shout out to Joshing. I'm sure.
She watches. Yep.
Maybe. Okay. Shout out to Joshing too. And I definitely butchered her name. We'll have her on sometime to teach us how to pronounce her name. That's not racist for me to say, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good. Just making sure. We can run that by her. Anyways, it's good to be back. We changed our name. We know we changed our name. We had our name for less than a week. PASAR or PASAR podcast is a thing of the past. And we're moving on to bigger and better things. Yeah, it's in the past. We're moving on to better things with the SIPcast. If you're wondering what SIP stands for, Samuel, do you want to tell them?
Yeah, let's see here. So, first of all, it is, what does the S stand for?
All right, so Samuel doesn't know the acronyms.
Right?
Yeah, stories.
I do. I know the rest of it. Okay, interviews and pop culture.
Yes.
So, I was shaky on the S. Shaky on the S.
Shaky on the S. That's okay. Yeah, I mean, you're the one that told the story last time, but it doesn't matter. We're ready to go.
Let's do it.
But last week, we got a big response from our Mount Rushmore, and by that I mean I think one person texted me about it. So we wanted to carry on that, kind of going on with the quarantine theme too. We wanted to do a Mount Rushmore of board games. Board games or card games.
Okay.
Nothing like in particular. Just games that you'd play that aren't video games per se, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And to start off this list, I'm going to go ahead and say Jenga.
That's a good one.
And that's hard to say because it's not really a board game or a card game, right? It's just kind of a
yeah.
It's just kind of a
True.
game. But Jenga is a lot of fun. Suspense is a big part of my life. I like being on edge. Just kidding. But I like the slowness, the pace of the game. It's a very thoughtful game. It's a little stressful, but the thing about the Jenga is it's only stressful when it's your turn. It's always fun when it's somebody else's turn. So also another big part of Jenga that's really cool is the actual big Jenga. If you've ever seen a giant Jenga game, that's just pure adrenaline.
And they can be lethal.
Yeah, make sure you're wearing closed-toed shoes whenever you're playing that game, because you only made that mistake once. Jenga, if you know what I mean. Also, is that actually something that you're supposed to do in the game? Are you supposed to say Jenga when it falls down? Because I've never actually done that.
I've never done that before. I didn't know that was a thing.
Okay, maybe it's not a thing. Maybe I'm just making that up. Maybe I'm thinking of like Yahtzee or something, or Uno. Who knows? All right,
but all of the above.
all the above.
um, let's see. For my first one, I'm gonna go with a card game. So there's this game called Bang. I think it's originally Italian, but it's kind of like a Western kind of card game. So there's like some sheriffs, let's see, like outlaws, deputies, and you're all kind of against one another. You've got different like stats for players, different weapons, that kind of thing. I think it's just a really smart design. It's a good time, fun for the whole family. And just like I have a good memory of playing it back on the hall at school and getting to wear some of Braden's expensive cowboy hats. Shout out one time Braden.
Those were like $500 hats.
Yeah, they were insanely expensive. But yeah, I'd say that's my first one. There's also a dice version of the game that's pretty fun. It's kind of a slow burn. You have to find other people that are passionate about it. But yeah, I'd say that's my first game.
That's a good game. I've played it, I think. Maybe I haven't played it, actually. Now that I'm thinking. Wait, no, I've definitely played it.
Maybe
I've played
once.
the dice
I think
one.
you've played it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, my next game is Apples to Apples, which is such a funny game. Let me just tell you, the amount of laughs that can be made from this game, from ironic answers to the questions, is unmatched. I think it's kind of like what Cards Against Humanity is, if I'm not mistaken, but it's more clean.
Yeah, it's really similar. Mm-hmm.
Actually, if I'm being honest with myself, I'm more of an Apples to Apples Junior kind of guy. I like to keep it squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean. But just like the ironic, like the throwaway answers sometimes are just hilarious, especially whenever like people are trying to defend their answers and there's like, oh, it's like Elvis Presley is shiny or whatever. It's a great game.
I have a good memory of playing that with you at your grandparents' house.
Oh,
Me, and Landry, I think, played. And that was a good time. I enjoy Apples to Apples too, because it's like, yeah, I love the throwaway, like you said. I love the descriptions. I always want the descriptions to be read out loud. Some people just read it and then like to themselves. I'm like, I always want that out loud. Don't you dare not read it out loud.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Samuel, hit us again.
All right, this next one is a pretty deep cut. It's this game I like called Betrayal at House on the Hill. So it's kind of like it takes elements from all the like B-movie horror game, not games, I guess movies. And basically you've got this huge deck of cards, and you choose an explorer and you go inside like a haunted mansion or house. As you go, you open doors, you keep building the house. So every time the house is different, because it's like there are different room tiles, and like so each time the house is different. You guys should really check out this game. It's a good one. And then like depending on how the game goes down, somebody ends up betraying everybody else, and they become like the monster. So they could be like Frankenstein or like a zombie. Like there could be a zombie apocalypse. All kinds of different things. The replayability is great. Like I've never played the same game twice. Like there have been vampires, werewolves, weird tentacle monsters, all kinds of stuff. So it's a good one. We need to play it at some point. I don't think you've played it, but yeah, I'd say that's my second one. It's a really good one, even though it takes a while and you have to find a dedicated group to play with.
True. I feel like I'm picking like mainstream games and you're picking all these like kind of obscure games.
Deep cuts.
I think you're more of a gamer than I am, if I'm allowed to say that.
That's okay. I like that we have a wide swath here.
True. All right, my next game is a game that I played quite a bit over spring break, and I didn't have this on my list. So if I'm stealing this game for you, I really apologize, Samuel.
That's all right.
Phase 10. It is
okay. I've heard of it, but I've not played that actually.
It's so fun. Shout out to the Panther family who I played with a lot during spring break, and Bryce. Bryce beat me one round, so I'm sure he wouldn't let me hear the end of it if I didn't say that. But I beat him one round too, so screw you, Bryce. Anyways, it's a game where you're trying to get to 10 different phases. There's like runs. The cards are kind of like Uno cards, so it's like some hands you have to get like 7 of the same color. You have to get like a run of 7, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 10 cards. It's just it's a really fun game. I think you have 10 cards. I don't want to say anything that's not true. It's a really fun game. It's pretty fast paced. You're never really far behind in it. You can always catch up. Really, really, really would encourage it if you have it during this quarantine time. It's really fun to play with your family. I'm pretty sure the Panthers play it every single night. And I'll be back when quarantine's over, so I'll start winning my games again.
That's awesome. I'll have to check that one out. Let's see. My number 3. It's probably gonna have to go to just like classic Settlers of Catan. It's a good time. I have to definitely be in the right mood to play that one because it's like it's not very action based. It's just like you're building your settlements. But there's something so like I don't know. There's like a deep part within me as a man that just like I love building the roads. I love building the houses. And it's a good time. I haven't played a ton of the expansions. I played a couple of them though. And they're really fun. They add different elements to the game. Are you much of a Catan guy, Jack?
You know, I am not. I actually got invited over to our good friend Dustin's house to play Catan, and I went and I didn't play. It was one of those things where it's like they didn't really want to explain to me the game. They just wanted to play it, you know?
I feel that. It's like it's tough to explain, and then like I feel like some people by the end of the time you finish explaining it, they're like, yeah, I don't know if I'm really feeling this game.
Yeah, it just seemed like too much for me, if I'm being completely honest.
That's okay. I respect that. And then we have the same number 4 actually. So
oh no, we do.
We can.
No, we don't have the same number 4. I
believe so. We don't. Okay.
My number 4 is the best board game of all time, and that game is Monopoly.
Respect.
Monopoly has a pretty competitive hold on my life. I normally play with. Well, Sam, you play with us sometimes. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't want to play with us because.
Definitely, I'm not that competitive, and when it gets really heated, that's when I start stepping out.
Yeah, I play with our other roommate Mac and Holly. We have a WWE Championship belt that the winner takes home, the champion. It's kind of gotten to this point where it's like if we're playing Monopoly, we're playing Monopoly, and it's usually us 3, maybe 2 more people. But everybody else is just... I think everybody else hates that we play Monopoly because we just turn into monsters.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
We turn into monsters. I get so competitive playing Monopoly. And I get super petty too. And everybody hates me when I'm playing Monopoly, but I get dubs. So, sorry.
For me, number 4 is going to be Secret Hitler. Sounds like a problematic title for a game, but it's really fun. It's kind of another betrayal style game. You've got your fascists, and you've got your liberals. It definitely destroys relationships, I'd say. Like, takes down some friendships. There's some secret people, and then I'm trying to think how best to explain it. But yeah, you're trying to figure out who Hitler is, kill him, but it just always ends up with there being some sort of big betrayal. And like only half the people walk away from that game happy. You can't all end happy. That's caused some drama in the past, but yeah, that's one of my favorite games, definitely.
Yeah, I like that game too. Apparently Coleman Dirksey had a meltdown one time. I was not there for that game. But it can ruin relationships. But it is a very, very fun game, especially if you're a fascist in the game.
Yeah, true. I agree with that.
There's nothing I love more in board games and card games than having to lie to people. But I also am a pathological liar, which you know if you know me.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you for listening to this Mount Rushmore of board games, and we'll be back with question time.
Bye.